Back in the late 80s, there was an Idahoan farmer up at the butt crack of dawn one morning doing his summer chores. Just the regular farming stuff like letting the chickens out, feeding the goats, and milking the cow. But as he was walking to the stable where the horse was, he heard an oddly pleasant singing ringing out from the stables. So he got kinda low and snuck over to the stables, and he peeped his eye through a crack in the boards to see what were singing such a sweet sounding song. And to his surprise, there was nothing else in the stable but his trusty horse, and that horse was singing a tune that the farmer had never heard before. And the farmer thought it might even be an original composition, seeing as how it was all about him, the goat, the chicken, and the cow. So the farmer lifts his head where the horse can see him, and the horse just stops singing. And the farmer was like, "Whoa, boy, that's some good singing there," but the horse was just giving him a side eye. So what the farmer did is he started listening carefully for times when the horse would be singing. And whenever he'd hear those sweet tunes coming from the horse's mouth from the stable, he'd stop by with an apple to encourage him to keep going. And before long, he could hardly get the horse to stop singing. And neighbors even started stopping by to see the spectacle of the singing horse. And that's when the farmer got an idea. He started loading the horse up in his trailer and taking it to small local events like the swap meet. It was a huge hit with the locals, and they were starting to learn all the words to all the songs, and they were proud to have such a local legend. Well, one day when the horse and the farmer returned to the farmhouse from the local swap meet, they found that the front door was swinging wide open. And when he got inside, he heard the most stunning ragtag tunes coming from the living room piano. It was honestly a bit unsettling. He hadn't heard nobody play that piano since Miss Farmer died of diphtheria back in '82. She was the only person in the States that year to die of diphtheria, and hearing that piano just brought a tear to the crusty farmer's eye. Well, it turned out that the goat had made it inside and was playing a passionate piano tune, standing on its back feet. So what the farmer did is he moved that piano out to the stable and coaxed the goat to play it out there. And the horse started singing to the goat's playing, and they sounded surprisingly good together. A little more practice and they could even be considered great, and the farmer got an even better idea. So he went out and bought a little guitar and a drum set for the other animals to try to play. And before long, to his surprise and joy, the chicken was playing the guitar and the cow was playing the drums. They had formed a complete farm band and sounded unexpectedly good considering that they were all novice farm animals. So they hit the road and started doing local shows all over rural Idaho. And there wasn't a single person up there that saw the horses band that didn't have a good time. Well, if they did have a bad time, it was unrelated to the show. Like either their disposition was poor or something else was going bad in their life, but they liked the music. So many people started showing up to the shows that the farmer started charging admission and playing the role as band manager. The horses band was on a roll, and before long they were doing shows in Pocatello, Boise, and even Salt Lake City. Fox 13 News in Utah ran a segment on the horses band, and they exploded to national fame almost overnight. It almost seemed like not a single person in America didn't have a favorite horses band song. And all of them being raised on a farm, they had a good work ethic, and they started touring almost every day of every year. They even played a couple songs on SNL. But as it does sometimes, the power, the money, and fame got to their head a little. Each of them slowly fell into their own vices, and the horse got bit hard by the gambling bug and alcoholism. By this point, it had been almost a full decade of them touring non-stop, just go, go, go. So the horses band collectively decided that it was time to take a break. And the horse had a lot of money burning a hole in his saddle, so he decided to fly on over to Vegas to hit the slots, play some poker, and indulge in every known vice available in Vegas. And the chicken, the goat, and the cow, for their own part, just wanted to take it easy for a month or so out in pasture. So they chartered a plane and would land in their very own field the next day. The horse, though, didn't waste no time making his way to the tables, and as soon as he sat down, he started losing money. Like, it's absurd how fast the horse is losing money. Like, the pit boss sees how much he's gambling and sets him up with the penthouse suite and makes sure he's stocked with literal buckets of beer. And in just one evening, the horse is down $4 million and he's just drunk as a skunk, determined to make it big on a pot just once. And he finally gets a good hand, pocket kings, and decides to go all in just to lose to a small man with a baseball hat, dark sunglasses, and pocket aces. And it finally sets in that the horse has squandered every penny he's made in the last decade. And he's feeling sunken in, like was it all worth it? So he finally leaves the table and he's stumbling down the strip and he sees a newspaper on the ground with a big bold headline. It reads, 3 members of the horses band dead in rural Idaho plane crash. And reading the rest of the article on page C2, he finds out that the farmer, Mr. Farmer, has perished as well. And the horse is obviously beyond devastated. That band, he realizes, had become like a family to him, and he cried a tear thinking about all the times that they'd shared. Sorrow just swelled inside him, and he felt like he needed a drink more than he'd ever needed a drink before. And he remembered that pit boss had put a couple drinks in his saddlebag earlier before. He never got to say goodbye to anyone he loved, and he'd never felt so low before. Like, how was he ever gonna make it now, with no money to his name, no manager, and no band to make new music with? So he walks into the bar with his head low in pure anguish, and the bartender sees him and asks, "Why the long face?" Thanks for watching. Me and my community here are working to help save Amir and his family with this GoFundMe, and I'd appreciate it if you helped at all. Or if you've already helped, thank you. I appreciate y'all.